Daniel Hinton joining us from the Scranton Prep Golf Team here on the John Mendola Show. And Daniel, let's talk about your senior season for Prep. Very successful.
Yeah, thank you for having me, John. So we went to the States. No one really expected us to do that well this year because we lost 5 out of 6 starters coming in this year. So we went to States and we tried our best, and we got second by the skin of our teeth by a stroke.
Well, a fabulous year, and you guys just keep replacing people. A lot of depth at Prep over the years. Coach Simic really does a nice job with the program.
Yeah, he does. I mean, since we had 5 starters get out of Prep last year, so I mean we just have kids step up every year, and Coach Simic's always got a good team going.
You're involved with just about every club there is, and I'll take my time and go slow here. Business Club, Anti-Bullying Club, National Honor Society, Campus Ministry, Joseph of the, oh boy, that's a big one.
Joseph of Arimathea Funeral Ministry. In that club we, so for the surrounding people in our community, for the people who do not have friends or family at the end of their lives, for their funerals, we fulfill roles at their funerals, like pallbearing or reading selected readings during the Mass. So,
sounds like a well-rounded student athlete being at Scranton Prep. Talk about being at Prep. It's a special place.
Yeah, it's heavily on. I mean, Prep really has a heavy impact on your service. I mean, all the teachers and Father Maher, the president of Scranton Prep, always has a huge emphasis on service to your community and excellence in your academics. And academics always comes first at Prep. So missing a couple days for school because we went to States for golf is a little tough. Probably missed 8 days this quarter for golf. So making up that work's a little tough, but the teachers always make it easy.
You have some siblings that I'm sure help inspire you, or you're inspiring them. Tell us a little bit about your family.
Yeah, so I have a sister, Sarah, who's 23 years old. She graduated from Colgate University in 2016. She works in New York City now for Spencer Stewart. And I have a brother, John, who's 22, sorry. He is a student now at Penn State. This is his senior year, and I have a sister, Emily, who is 19, who is a student at Westchester University, and they all are former alumni of Prep.
And you seem to want to be a business management major, or finance. Talk about where you got that inspiration from.
How I look at it as, I see most of other jobs have a ceiling for your success. When I think of business, I think of that there's not really a ceiling for your success in business management or financing. You could go as high as you want to be and work as hard as you want to work, and success really shows that way.
I love it, and of course you're working hard in the classroom. Talk about being able to get the results there.
I mean, I think I performed pretty well in the classroom. I'd like to say I have a pretty rigorous schedule through the past 4 years. Everybody thinks Prep is really hard academically, but I mean, it's really the teachers that help you along the way. Obviously, the school works hard, but I mean, the administration does a great job with it.
As far as where that school is going to be for you, you thinking local, far away? You're not sure right now?
I have a couple schools in mind, like there are a couple of big ones, but the United States Naval Academy and the United States Military Academy. And then after that, probably the University of Michigan or the University of North Carolina. Those are probably my top 4 schools. So yeah, those ones.
They sound pretty big.
Yeah, it's a little warning.
Basketball and lacrosse, 2 things you're serious about, or do it for a lot of fun?
I'm probably most serious about lacrosse. I was first team all-conference last year for lacrosse, and I worked hard through the years to show my success in that. I scored my 100th career goal last year, so my hard work has really shown in lacrosse. Basketball, I actually did basketball my first 2 years of Prep, and then I switched over to wrestling, and I was switching over to basketball back again. And let's just hope I can make the team, make a difference on the team.
Well, Daniel, you sure have your act together. That's for sure. And,
thank you very much.
We wish you continued success, and maybe next time I'll actually talk about a whole lot of golf, because we didn't talk much golf, but you have so much going on. Keep it going, all right?
Okay, thank you very much.
Jack Habib is joining us here from the Scranton Prep Golf Team on the John Mendola Show. And Jack, let's talk about your senior year here with this golf team. How well did you do?
It was awesome. I had a great time with the guys all season, and I prepared all summer for my senior year because I really wanted to get to states again as I did in junior year. And I practiced and applied all my practice to some tournaments and just worked to be ready so that I was mentally prepared for the district and regional and state tournaments.
You guys are probably a little bit unique at prep where you may golf at a certain club, and your teammate may be at a different club, but then you have a home course. So talk a little bit about your experience of golfing at different places over the years and how that probably made you a well-rounded player.
Yeah, I've played most of the courses in the area, along with over the summer I traveled a lot down to Philly and towards the Reading area to get experience. Mainly when you play different courses, you get a lot better at being consistent and knowing what not to do when you're playing a place that you don't really know that well. So my main rule for that is to keep it in play everywhere. You can tell from the tee where there's out of bounds, where there's water, so just make sure you stay away from that. And usually once you get around the green, you can figure it out when you're next to it. So that's big.
A lot of depth at Scranton Prep. So take us through a few guys. Feel free to mention about how they played this year and a little bit of the strengths with their golf game.
Yeah, so Daniel Hinton, he started junior year. He joined our team, and he had played before, but had tried some other sports previously, and he was a huge addition to our team last year. He started for some of the year, and towards the end we switched out, but he worked really hard to come back this year because he knew that he would be a key player, and he definitely came in strong. Colin Ennis, he worked very hard over the summer as well. He loves the game, and he worked very, very hard to make sure his scores got lower and lower, and he got more consistent. And MJ Stavala, he played very hard throughout the whole summer and was really ready to get into action because he didn't get to start last year, and the same for Josh Villarosa. Him and MJ were very similar players this year.
How about the team overall in the league, through districts, how you guys were able to fare?
We played very well in our matches, but we had a tough one with Dunmore at Elmhurst in the league playoff. We ended up going to the playoff, and we came up strong there, and that really was where I think we got the ball rolling. And we played a great round of districts, and we only beat Holy Redeemer by 6, which was that's not a lot. And our guys really worked hard because they knew that we'd have to play well there at their home course, and I think that just carried all the way to the state tournament.
Well, let's go through a couple things you're doing at school. Business club and the math club. Favorite subjects, math. Your major in college, economics and math. So talk a little bit about how that brain works of yours and why math seems to be that strong point.
I just have always been more equipped to numbers. Like, I like using numbers and math more than I like getting the answer, hard answer, instead of being more abstract and more, it could be this, it could be this. So I like math a lot. That's the best thing. But I want to do business, hopefully work in finance. So I really like math, and that will definitely help me when I get there.
Verbally committed to play golf at Hamilton College. Talk about why Hamilton and what you're looking forward to there.
I really love the campus, first of all. That was when I visited. I had a great experience there. And their team plays in a probably what is known as the best Division III conference overall, which is the NESCAC, with a few other schools like Williams, Amherst, Middlebury. And it's a lot of very similar schools. The school is emphasized more than the golf, actually. So I'm looking to be able to focus on my education but still have a good time and play golf and compete. So that really was the place that offered that for me.
Tell us a little bit about your sister Carly.
She's a freshman at Prep. She plays tennis, and she plays number 2, and she won all her matches this year. She won all the way through districts. She didn't win her match at states, but she played very well. But anyway, then her and her partner they won the districts for doubles, so they're going down to states. So she's fared very well there so far.
And let's talk a little bit about some inspirations at home for you that help make it all right.
Yeah, my parents are definitely a key to what I do. My dad was a golfer even before I was born, so he got me right into it. And we've always just played together throughout growing up, and even still now we play a lot together. And my mom definitely supports it because we take a lot of time to do that. So I've had a lot of support there.
Great to hear your story, Jack. We wish you the best at the next level, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Eric Odell joining us from the Scranton Prep Golf Team here on the Mendola Show. And Eric, you're a senior, so let's talk about how your golf year went for you.
It was a pretty good year, considering I didn't make the team freshman or sophomore year. And then last year I made it, but I didn't start. So this year it was a real turnaround. I worked hard to get to where I am, and it was a great year.
Competition amongst players on the team is tough at Prep every year.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about, as you say, you didn't give up and you kept pushing yourself.
Yeah, I mean, like my freshman and sophomore year, there was a lot of kids trying out and a lot of great golfers, so it was a real struggle. But the past 2 years, it got a little bit easier, but did work a lot to get to where it was.
Let's talk about time that you put in. If you have a course that you play on a regular basis, and then what's your home course for Prep?
So I normally play at Honesdale Golf Club. I play with my grandfather. He basically made me love golf. Like I started playing with him, and I just fell in love with it the first time I played. And then at Scranton Muni, which is our home course, it's always a blast there. It's a great time with your friends and stuff, and tryouts, it's not bad. Like it's good. It's fun.
Grandpa, let's go back to him. Talk about little things he taught you about the game, or things he kind of instilled in your head that you'll probably take with you for decades to come.
Just have fun with it. Like don't be like overly consumed about if you hit a bad shot or something. Bad shots are going to happen on the golf course, so I mean, just really keep your head straight, because that's where you lose most of your strokes, in between your ears there, and you got to keep your head straight, otherwise scores go way up.
Much like life, I think. A couple poor decisions we all make along the way, and try to keep your head up and think wisely. Grandpa's a wise man, that's for sure. Business seems to be your thing. Let's talk about the future for you. And is there some family members in business, or something you're really intrigued with?
I don't know. Like my grandfather owns Leeward Construction, so I just sort of, I'm not a big medical guy. I'm not fully sure what I want to do. Like, I think it would be awesome to either go into business or maybe even sports management, because I love being around sports.
That's pretty cool. How about Carter, your sibling?
Yeah, he plays on the Scranton Prep football team. He's only a sophomore this year. He's one of the 2 sophomores that are going to be starting this year. So, my brother doesn't like playing golf that much, but he definitely helped me in the sense that sort of keep your head in it and not like lose focus, because when you start paying attention to your little brother that's making fun of you and trying to mess with you, it could hurt your golf game for sure.
Gotcha. All right, well, we wish you the best, Eric, going forward, and we appreciate your time today, and thanks for sharing your story about your grandpa.
Yep, thank you.
Josh Villarosa joining us from the Scranton Prep Golf Team here on the Mendola Show, and you're a senior golfer. Is golf your number one thing, or are you pretty good at other things?
Golf's my number one thing. This season was definitely special to me, because it was the first year I was starting for the team. I didn't make the team sophomore year after making freshman year. Junior year, I kind of rode the pine, sat on the bench for a little bit, but I mean, I was really inspired by like all the other starters. They were working hard, so I kind of spent most of my summer just working on my swing, working on the golf course, and playing with these guys. It was definitely a great season. Definitely not one to forget. So.
I love the resiliency. Your teammate had a similar story. Didn't make the team, kept trying, worked hard all summer.
Yeah.
But when prep graduates 5 or 6 guys, it was just a lot of depth. And coach does a great job, but it just a lot of prep kids want to golf, and they're pretty darn good.
Yeah, they are good. Even for next year, they got a lot of good guys coming up. So I'm interested to see how they do next year.
Let's talk about some other things that you do. Pennsylvania Junior Academy of Science, choir, you play the piano. Tell us about that musical part of you.
Yeah. So I play the piano. I've been playing it for about 8 or 7 years. I do like a lot of classical and like jazz stuff, but like recently I'm like into making covers of like different like modern songs that I like hear on the radio. I can spend like up to hours just working on that, so it's pretty cool.
Sounds like fun. You're pretty serious about that science stuff. Talk about that.
Yeah, I want to be a doctor when I grow up, and I think biology is pretty cool. Like that combined with like chemistry could probably set me up for the most success in the future. And it'd be amazing to study at Boston College, Georgetown. Those are 2 amazing schools. So we'll see how everything goes there, but hopefully it'll work out.
You got some nice schools there, interesting between both of them. You also have a sister, Adriana, who's younger. I'm sure she looks up to you.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some cute things when she's 10. But talk about what it's like, the brother-sister relationship.
Yeah, we have a really good relationship. We joke around with each other a lot. We mess around a lot, and she inspires me because she's a swimmer. She works probably just as hard, maybe even harder than I am. And I try to like use that same work ethic that I did with golf over the season, and she definitely played a big part. And I'm inspired by her, even though she's only 10 years old. So
that's awesome to hear. Talk about mom and dad and their role in your life to do the things they've done for you to set a great foundation.
Yeah, my dad especially with the game of golf, because he was an avid golfer, and he's been he always pushed me to go that extra level. He always picked me up when I was down after maybe a loss, and he was always there to support me after a big win. And so I really wouldn't be where I am if not for him. And my mom doing the same, when driving me around everywhere, from a freshman to even now. So I'm really inspired by them, and I'm really grateful for them.
Yeah, Mom gets to hear all those golf stories, I'm sure, as
yeah.
well. Well, Josh, we appreciate your time. Best of luck in that biochemistry track that you're going to take at either Georgetown or Boston College. And thank you for your time.
All right, thank you.
Colin Ennis joining us. He is a junior with the Scranton Prep Golf Team here on the John Mendola Show. And Colin, let's talk about how did your golf game fare this year?
We did very well as a team. Came in runner-up at the state tournament. I feel that we did very well, and individually I didn't play as well as I want, but as a team we got it done.
Let's talk about what you like about the game of golf. There's so many challenges with it, and the ups and downs, the short game, the drives, the putting. Talk about, when you were playing your best golf this year, what was going right?
When I would step up on the tee box, I'd know when I swing the driver it's going out there, and I'd find the fairway. And then the game is so much easier when you play from the fairway. And when you have those the scoring clubs like your wedges, you give yourself a lot of putts to make, lots of birdies out there on those courses.
How about some of your teammates overall? Talk a little bit about what you saw from them, because there's some good golfers on this team.
Oh, absolutely. Every day when we show up to practice, I look to Captain Jack Habib, and he's always telling me how to swing the backswing, my putting stroke. He helps me on all aspects of the game.
Let's talk about tennis, something that you're thinking of doing in the spring, and anybody else in the family play?
I actually got this inspiration from Jack Habib. He's a senior this year, and it's his last year on the tennis team, and he said that it'd be fun for me to play, so I think I'm going to try out.
Business club, Pennsylvania, sciences. Talk a little bit about all those things you're involved with.
For the business club, it's really fun since that's what I want to do in my career. in PJS, the science. I feel like it helps me with my studies because it's very individual, and I start a experiment start to finish and see the results.
Of course, we're talking about the Pennsylvania Junior Academy of Science, and a great thing for you. Ellie, older sister of yours, talk about her.
Yes, she's an older sister. She's been an inspiration for me. She's a senior, and she's studying psychology, so she's going for her master's, and she's always hardworking, and I look up to her.
Business or international economics at Duke University is the goal for you. Now, you still got a little time because you're just a junior, but talk about why Duke.
I want to go to Duke. It's just been always a childhood dream watching Coach K. I want to be down there at Cameron. I'd love to be a Blue Devil.
That is so cool. And you're a very good student, top 25 of 230 in your class. Business major again, so is there some family members in business that inspire you there?
No, I have, my dad's friends are in business, and it always seems to interest me, and with all the math involved in it, and I'm pretty good at math, is my favorite subject, and it just interests me, so I think it could be something I'm successful at.
How about the folks keeping you in line, making sure you're doing what you're supposed to do?
Oh, absolutely. My parents, they're 100% on my side. They always back me in whatever I want to do, and they're 100% of who I am today.
Well, Colin, you're a well-rounded young fellow, that's for sure. In the classroom, on the course, and maybe a little tennis in the spring with your friend Jack. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
MJ Stavala from the Scranton Prep Golf Team here on the John Mendola Show. And MJ, a very successful year for Prep, making the team. We heard a couple of these seniors saying, you know what, I didn't make the team as a freshman or a sophomore. But boy, I worked hard all summer and I made the team. They were just happy to be on the team. You as a sophomore and playing, that's a big accomplishment at Prep.
Yeah. Ever since 4th grade, I've wanted to go to Prep, and I always knew I wanted to play golf. So ever since about 7th grade year, I've been working really hard at golf just to make that team, and I was lucky enough freshman year to make it, and I worked really hard summer, and I was able to start this year, which I was really happy about.
What is it about your game you think that you've elevated over time? You know, there's a couple phases to golf, but take us through what you think you did.
Well, as far as the physical part of golf, I definitely improved a lot, but the main focus for me was that I improved a lot mentally in my mental game, and I did a lot of that through wrestling and other stuff like that, and definitely my parents helped me through that a lot.
Let's talk about that other sport, wrestling, that you do. Something you're pretty darn serious about?
No, I do it more just for like the mental part of it, and I love the exercise too. That's one of my favorite things to do is exercise, so I like that part of it a lot.
Wrestling could be pretty grueling, so
yeah.
You like that punishing part of
Yeah,
your body.
they're definitely two very opposite sports that I play, but I love them both.
You have a sister, Pia. Tell us a little bit about her. She's younger, and she's involved in a couple things.
Yeah, she's a dancer. She loves to dance, and she plays basketball. And she's starting with golf. You know, I want to try to get her more into golf, and I'll definitely guide her on that because I definitely want her to play for Prep. She'll be a freshman when I'm a senior, so hopefully she'll be on the girls' team.
That'd be pretty cool to be on the same team with your little sister.
Yeah.
Student council and soon to join the medical club. Talk about the different offerings at Prep, a big diverse group of clubs.
Yeah. Well, the medical club is something I've been wanting to join. I've been so busy with golf, but that will be very soon. It's actually a really cool club. They have doctors come in and give presentations, which is really cool. And I am a homeroom representative for the student council, which is really fun.
Biology, something that you really enjoy. Is that something you're thinking about at that next level?
Yeah, I've always been interested in science and math. I've always loved both of them, and I can't get enough of it. Let's
talk a little bit about your family and making sure that you're doing what you're supposed to at home, in the classroom, and then the extracurricular activities.
Definitely. Well, my parents have always been like a huge part of my life in every aspect. My dad, always like driving the golf cart around or walking with me, encouraging me, and my mom's an attorney, so like I just look at what she's accomplished, and she would tell me her stories about having to drive to law school every day. So I would just look at that and then think like I could very well do that too. So she's really a big role model for me, and so is my sister. She's with me every step of the way, encouraging me to do my best. So I really appreciate that.
Great to hear these inspiring stories like yourself, MJ. And, of course, good luck with wrestling coming up here in the winter sports season. But
thank you.
Congratulations on a great golf year.
Thank you very much.